welcome to my channel, Craft Away with May. I'm May. If you are new here, thank you so much for stopping by to see what I have going on today. If you are returning, thank you so much for coming back to hang out with me. I appreciate each of you all so very much. So today's video is another fall inspired video. I will be using majority of Dollar Tree items. And also a few hacks, or a hack. I think it's just one. But nonetheless, it's all fun. On this channel, I love to do all things crafting and DIY. If that is something that interests you, and if you like being here, please consider liking, subscribing, and sharing. And just know you can leave me a comment as well. Those comments are always desired and not required, and everything is free. So without further ado, we'll go ahead and jump into our first DIY. Today we're going to start with this placemat that I got from Dollar Tree and this wood board I got from Daiso. It was $1.50 at the time I purchased it. It's roughly about 20 inches wide, probably about 9 inches long, lengthwise, height-wise. Nonetheless, it's a little bit smaller than the actual placemat. So we're going to be making a tray today. I do love making trays, and I saw this beautiful placemat, and it was just something I wanted to, try and incorporate into a DIY. And so this is what I thought of. So I won't be doing a lot to the placemat itself, other than just cutting it down to fit the board. It will be more of the, the little additions that I'll add to it. But nonetheless, I love the colors because, it looks like this is what's trending for this year. The very neutral greens, blues, and so forth. Now, don't get me wrong. I love my traditional fall colors. I love fall, period. Like, everything fall is all good to me. But I am loving the more neutral colors where they're going in with the greens and blues. And all I'm doing here, once I cut it down, I glued it down as you saw there, and I'm just adding some of the little cubes, miniature cubes from the Crafter Square section of Dollar Tree. And I'm using one of those face scrubbers, to exfoliate your skin. And that's just to help to move those little glue webs. And so what happened here, because the board did get warped, it's been in my stash for a long time, I just had to add a little bead to the bottom of one of those little cubes just to make it level so it wouldn't wobble. Right here, I got this bird swing from Daiso, and just so happened to have the colors that I was really liking on those beads for this tray. So I was like, you know what? Hey, this will make a nice handle. And at first I was going to leave it the full length, but it was it wasn't big, but it was too big for the actual tray. So it had roughly about 28 beads on there. I did count them out. You'll see that in a few minutes. And all I'm doing is I'm deconstructing it, and I'm just going to transfer those beads over to some of the black twine there. And I actually should have used a neutral color of twine, but I was not thinking. I don't know what made me grab this color, but nonetheless, you won't really even be able to see it. And that's all I'm doing. So what I did was I just folded it over, and I just put a little dab of glue on the end to make it pointy so I can just feed the beads on very easily. And then I just tie them off once I'm done. So I approximately did, I believe it was 14 beads on each. And so that's it. So the little wood handle we are going to use later on in another project. So I'm super excited when I get to repurpose things. And already I'm loving this board. Like, I was just like, this is really cute, and it's super lightweight. And so of course you will not be able to carry anything on it. It is more so for decorative purposes. And what I'm doing here is I'm just gluing down those handles underneath the board. I will be cutting off those black strings, and I'm going to cover them up with some of the craft sticks or popsicle sticks, the medium-sized ones. And also I took some of the burlap ribbon, or yeah, I think it's burlap. ribbon, the miniature size one from the floral section at Dollar Tree, and I just lined that around the board. I did go around the outside of it and paint it a very pale green color, but it still was missing something, and I didn't want to add beads around the top of it, just because I'm going to be adding other things to it. So that did make it, you know, it helped, I think. But you guys can definitely let me know. I feel like it really all came together. I'm tying this off here because I went in with some hot glue and it stuck for like a minute, and then it just released, even though I put it on the wood. And then so what I decided to do was go in with some of the Gorilla Glue, which does take, you know, a few minutes to adhere, and I was just in a time crunch, so I just put that on there, and I went back in with a little bit more of the hot glue and just tied it off to sit overnight. Now here we're gonna go in with these gift bags that I got from, or gift boxes, I'm not sure, I think they're like good gift bags. They don't have a top to them or a lid. So I got these also from Dollar Tree, and I was going to use them in another DIY that I just did not get around to doing. And so I was like, you know what? I have them here. Let's use our stash May. So that's what I did. So I'm going to go ahead and give both boxes or bags a coat of white paint. I'm only going to do one coat here. And once it's dry, what you see I'm doing here is I'm just going in with some brown paint and just distressing it. I wanted to give it that wood look, of course, farmhouse wood look. And if you guys can guess what I'm making, let me know in the comments. I thought this was a pretty cool hack or idea to convert these, and these really took really well. I was kind of nervous because, you know, just with the paint and spray paint, it doesn't always react very well, at least in my experience. So I just went for it. I didn't stress. I just gave the one coat of white paint because I knew I was going to be doing the distressing with the brown paint, and it also has some lines in there from where I took off the tape, and that even more so gave it like a wood texture to me, and I was really happy. So do you guys know yet? Do you know what we're making? We're making pumpkins. We're making box pumpkins. So yes, so all I did was I had some driftwood in my stash. These leaves came off some picks I had for fall from last year from Dollar Tree. I'm sorry, from Michael's, and they look really very similar to the leaves that are on the tray. So these will be a part of that tray. And I just thought, you know, this is something different, something, you know, unique, I think. And I did get this ribbon from Dollar Tree as well, and it just had all different kind of fall sayings on it, and I just thought it was really cute, and it just complemented this piece very nicely. And so this was pretty much done at this point. I'm just hot gluing it down. I tied it off with some ribbon that I got from Dollar Tree. They have some really pretty fall ribbon right now, and I was super excited. So the boxes are not the same in size. I want to say one was like 8 inches and the other one was 6 inches, give or take. So it's a slight variation in size there, but it does, you know, it's enough where you can see the difference, and I like that it wasn't too drastic. And so pretty much I'm doing the same thing for the larger one. I'm just gonna tie it off with different ribbon, and I used a different type of piece of driftwood, and I'm just adding in a few more embellishments, and I used some of the lace ribbon on the stem of it. And I really like the way this came out. It's so simple yet so cute. Now this is our Dollar Tree hack, you guys. So these are cat scratch pads or boards or whatever you want to call them. They're basically made of cardboard. And when I saw them, I was like, oh, you know, that kind of looks like burlap. And so of course I took it out the box while I was in the store and I tested it out. I'm like, oh, these are pretty solid, right? And so I was like, okay, this will make a cute sign. So that's what we're gonna make here. We are gonna make a welcome sign. I was so wanting to do something because I just recently ordered some stencil off of Amazon, and I was just fiending, looking for a reason to use it, and I figured why not use it here. Now I will tell you guys, okay, a couple of things with this. While the sign came out nice, the smell here was a bit much. Now, afterwards, like right before I was getting started, I was like, oh, I wonder if it has some type of chemical or something in it. But no, it's just the funk of the board. Okay. And so I did spray it with some Febreze when I was finished. And I was like, okay, it doesn't say there's anything in here. And it was, you know, it had a little fuzz going on, but it wasn't overwhelming. It was just more of that, just that little hint of stench coming from there. So initially I was like, okay, I'm going to put this outside, but it is, like I said, made of cardboard, and it is see-through as well. And so I was like, yeah, it probably won't hold up very well outside, at least during the, like, you know, fall and winter months when, you know, moisture starts coming in. But my neighbor downstairs, she has like 6 cats, okay? So I was like, oh, you know what, maybe I'll give it to her, you know, and let her, you know, for her cats or whatever. But one little thing I did before we finish, and you guys will see here, I did add some ribbon to it, so I may have to take that off before I give it to her, especially if she's gonna let her, you know, kitten or cats you know, claw on it. And so it was really super easy to do. I love the stencil, and the stencil came with a little pig on there. I know I moved a little bit fast, but all I wanted was the welcome, and then I wanted these little pot of flowers here, which I think is gorgeous. I was tempted to do other colors, but because I was just testing this out, I wasn't sure of how it was going to go. I just stuck with the basics and used white. I did go in with some distressing of brown, and like I said earlier, this is where I'm adding in a few, you know, little embellishments just to kind of make it look, you know, a little semi kind of itty bitty 3D-ish. No, but that was it to it. So all I did here was it was pretty seamless, you know, in my opinion. Like, you can really see it because I'm really, you know, pointing it out here. But I just went in with some of the popsicle sticks or crafting sticks and added that for support. And I added on some of the nautical rope just to give it a look. And it kind of reminded me of like a barrel of sorts. So it was really cute. I love that. And that was it for this project. So it was very, it's pretty in, you know, in real sight. It's very pretty. But I just, the smell. And that's me. I'm just sensitive to smell. It may be okay for others, but that's it. And I did a little whitewash there. Now this one here, guys, I don't know, this, I had some favorites today. I'm liking that I'm having more than one favorite, and this is favorite number 2 because I was loving those pumpkins in that tray. But here are 2 of the little trays. These are the miniature trays from the Crafter Square. And as you see, what I'm doing here is I am just staining them. And what we're going to do today is we're going to take some of this crafting paper I got from Hobby Lobby, and we're going to go ahead and just cut off. We want to just cover half of the board. We're going to use the back of it. We're not going to use the front side of the serving tray. And I want to do it like midway down, and I want to say this was probably about 6.5 inches. So I did half. I cut it down, you know. I'm pretending like I'm measuring here, like I know what I'm doing, and I don't. But but nonetheless, I got it right, y'all. I got it right. It was off by a smidgen, but I got it right. So what I wanted to do is take some of these laser cutouts. I got these from Dollar Tree, and I got some from Michael's that I had in my stash from last year. So I just wanted, it was a certain color green I wanted. I went through all my green paint. It was not the color I wanted because I wanted something that was very close to the green in that picture. And I know you probably can't tell really well here, but at the end you will definitely see an up close and personal shot of it. And so this was the color I came up with, and it was really nice. I know it looks a little bit bright, you know, but it's not. I promise you it's not. And so, so what I'm doing here is I was trying to separate the words, the hello fall, and I tried to go in with my scissors and miter shears, and it just crumpled. So I remember I had these garden shears, and those worked perfect. So I did that off camera. And all I'm doing here now is I'm going in with to color up the pumpkins, and the pumpkins in the picture were like buffalo check white, grayish and grayish white distressing on them, and so that's what I'm trying to mimic here. I was a little concerned at this point because I'm like, wow, this is a lot of dark tone on top of, you know, dark tones here, but it actually played out very well, and you guys will see that in a few seconds. So I was super stoked about this, and it just came together like so beautiful. Because at first what I wanted to do, and oh, before I go that route, I'm gonna glue the two together. So like I said, we'll be using the back part to mimic as if it would look like a book, okay? And so that's what I wanted. And then I was thinking like, oh, I should put like some, you know, old papers with words on them and things like that. And I was like, no, I really want to use this paper. So I was like, okay, we're gonna still do the boxes side by side, or trays side by side, but we're gonna do a play on the crafting paper. All right, so that's what we're doing here, and I'm just giving it some good coats. I get those section off. I wanted one at the top, one at the bottom, you know, just to create some contrast, you know, so it's just not that even Steven kind of look, you know. And that's what I'm doing here. And so what I also did was add those little miniature cubes behind each of the pumpkins, because again, I wanted this to be like a 3D effect, you know, just kind of standing out. And also, as we go forward in our next project, I think you will see it will kind of tie into the whole 3D pumpkin thing. So that's all I'm doing here, and I'm just, you know, positioning them. And I cut the paper out where I've got some of the wording. I think it was like thankful and blessed on one, thankful on one, blessed on the other, I believe. And here's why I go with the hello fall. And guys, I don't know why my lettering it flip-flops like this when I upload my videos. Like, I go through and I switch everything around, but for whatever reason, once I go through the editing, sometimes it just flips back. But nonetheless, at the end, I'm always able to fix it. So I'm not sure what happens there, but hey, I'm a work in progress. Nonetheless, so I put hello on one pumpkin, fall on the other. And literally that's it. I did do some more distressing on there because the green, it was, like I said, this was just a lot of the same type of tones on top of one another. So I wanted to get some kind of pop. It didn't pop a lot, but you could still see it. Like, it still looks beautiful. Like, it was just gorgeous. So here I'm going in with some leftover leaves I had from some other picks. And I'm just cutting them out. I'm, you know, dismantling them and cutting them out. And I wanted to put some leaves around the stems of the pumpkin, just again to add to that 3D effect. And so right here, I wanted to give it some feet. And I thought this was super cute. And at first I was like, oh, these could probably stand alone. But I'm like, no, because I have another project in mind, but that's later to come. Like way, not way down the road, but it's later to come. Okay. And so here is where I did things a little bit backwards. So before I put the pumpkins on, I should have actually put some of that lace ribbon down first to kind of separate the paper from the tray. But yeah, I didn't do that because I was so excited and so hyped. But nonetheless, I was able to get it in there, you know, and you can't even tell that I did it after the fact. The cuts were not perfect, but it still looked beautiful to me. And this project is really done at this point. So all I'm doing, like you see, is going in with that hot glue, and I'm just gonna sit them together. I'm gonna clamp them and then let them sit to the side to cure for a bit. But this is it for this project, and it's gorgeous, you guys. Like, this is so gorgeous. This would make such a nice gift for someone. And I'm all about, you know, always the entryway tables, you know, even just if you have a knick-knack shelf. Like, this is just that right size to put something where it won't overwhelm a space, you know. So I really love this. But what I also decided to do here was to go in with some whitewash on the stain part, because I felt like, you know what, maybe that will just kind of brighten it up a little bit more and make it not be so even tone across. And I think personally it really did. Like, this was really one of my favorites. Like, I don't know if this is favorite number 1 or number 2, but it was a favorite. Okay, so I was so excited about that. And this is just gorgeous. But like I said, this is already practically done at this point. So our next project, guys, of the day, this is a wood sign I found at Dollar Tree, and I'm so happy about my Dollar Tree. It's like, oh my gosh, I'm so happy they're getting this stuff in, and I was so excited. So I saw this one. They had beautiful signs, by the way, but I saw this one. I love the colors because, like I said, I'm all about the traditional fall colors, and so I love this. I love the wording. Even it had like a little bit of, no, not this one, it didn't have glitter, but I love the font on this one. And I was like, you know what? I want to jazz this up a little bit. So here's where we're going to use that wood holder from our bird swing. Okay, so we use that here. And then I took, this was a pack of fences I got from Hobby Lobby in their wood section because they were having a good sale there. 40% off all their wood items. So I really stocked up. And so I wanted to put the fence on there. I knew that because of the pumpkins, how they were laying low there. And then what I'm doing here is I'm distressing that little wood piece because I wanted it to look more like wood, since I'm going to be incorporating the fence, and it'll make sense in a minute. But the fence was too tall and you really wouldn't have saw the pumpkins behind there, so that's why I cut it down to the first I don't know, line or layer, whatever you want to call it. And I did some distressing on there. I added some half beads to the back of there because, again, I wanted to create that 3D effect. So what I'm doing here is taking some of the moss. I want to say it's the Spanish moss. I'm not sure, but it's moss nonetheless. And I'm just hot gluing that on the back because I wanted to kind of seep out at the bottom, not aggressively, just a little hint of it. And so that way you can still see the pumpkins on the board, and you'll see here in a few minutes. I always tend to jump ahead of myself, and once it's done, I'm just banging off the excess, and I'm like, oh my gosh, this looked like a real little farmhouse fence. I was so stoked, you guys. So I placed it right there. As you can see, you can still see those pumpkins. Now I also found some pumpkin stickers at Dollar Tree, so that's what you guys are going to see right now, and they have the 3D effect on them. So I was like, oh my goodness, these are like almost the same exact color of these pumpkins. Sorry I'm out of shot, but you guys will get a good shot. I promise, I promise, I promise. And so I just went in randomly placing some of them, the flat stickers, you know, around the words, and then the 3D stickers I did place, like I think 1 or 2 at the top, and then I placed a couple on the fence, some of the flat stickers on the fence. And I thought, oh my gosh, this is so stinking cute. I was so excited, you guys, so excited. Like, this was just beautiful. And so of course I got some of the ribbons, or bows rather, you know, pre-made bows from Dollar Tree. And I wanted to put that at the top, but it was going to cover my pumpkins at the top, and we were not going to have that today, okay? So I was like, okay, I'm gonna cut the tassels off of those, and that worked out perfect. And there you go. How cute is that, guys? Like, how stinking cute. And I know I moved too fast. I know I did, and I'm sorry, but you guys will see the finished product. I promise, I promise, I promise. And you guys will love it because it was just gorgeous. Like, this was, the colors was just like everything to me. And so when I went to Hobby Lobby, I found these napkins, and I remember I had these bows, and I had picked up these maple leaves from Dollar Tree, and they're some good quality, guys. Like, these things are really sturdy and heavy duty. They are MDF, but they are solid, okay? And so I like the front. I like the color, or the picture it had on the front, because it had your initial, and I like those colors. So I didn't want to take it away. Initially I started ripping at it, and I was like, no, I want to keep it. So what I decided was to do the back, and all I did was paint it in, I want to say like raw sienna color by Folk Art. I'm not sure, guys. I think that's what it is. I just needed to have a darker background because I couldn't get the tag off of here, or the sticker off. And you know, I could have if I used my heating tool or whatever, but I, again, crunched for time, and I was just like, you know what, nobody's gonna see this, right? Let me just paint over it, you know. And then with the napkin, so I decided to do my decoupage here. And you guys know I love my wrinkles. Now I'm super excited about this technique. I've never ever tried this, where you go ahead and burn the excess off with fire. And oh my gosh, you guys, like, I was a little nervous doing it, But like once I got the hang of it, and I don't think I was supposed to do it while it was still wet either, but it still did it, and I had very little that I had to sand off, and it came out gorgeous, guys. Like it was such a pretty match. It was a little bit darker than the bow, but nonetheless the pattern was still the same, and I love the color of it. So on one of the maple leaves, I just went in with some jute twine and wrapped that around the stem because I wanted to create a little dimension. And see the back of that pattern? Oh, that's so beautiful to me. So I know, I don't know, I'll probably flip it over and do something. Even though H is not part of my initial, I did get one that has M on it. And so the other stem, I just went in with some of that lace ribbon and tied it around the stem, and then I used some of those 3D stickers that I used earlier, and I just put it right in the middle. Again, I didn't want to take too much away from this because this is going to be next to that hanging sign, so I just really wanted it to blend. Now these candles I found at Target for $1.79. They are by the Joanna Gaines Magnolia line, and they don't have a smell. They're beeswax, sorry, and very good quality. And I wanted to incorporate them because I love the colors, but they were so bland, and and I was like, you know what, I'll figure out something. So I just added some ribbon here. Like I didn't do anything special. The little black thing sitting there that I'm using for the base is a spindle from a roll of my beads that I had, and so I just painted that black, and I'm going to use that for the base of one of the candles just to create some contrast. That's it. That's all I did to that. I actually did go back in with some gingham ribbon and I tied it around the base, but that's it. But here's our welcome sign made out of our cat scratch board, you guys. Like, come on, give it up. Like this was, you know, a little bit of an experience. But I don't think it was bad at all, you know, and I probably could have Mod Podged it. That may help. That may, you know, probably would have helped with the smell, I'm thinking. I don't know, but it was something fun to do. And here is my tray with my little bag or box pumpkins, and I think this is gorgeous. Like it's just so bright, so fall to me. Like it's not that traditional fall, of course, but it still just screams fall to me, and I love everything about this. Like this is just gorgeous. Like I love it. I love it, love it, love it. I can't say it enough. I love the little tops with the little driftwood, the leaves, the different bows at the top. I love it. And here it is standing up so you guys can get a full picture, so you can see the handles. And I think those handles, the beads blended well. Like how much time did that save where I didn't have to paint them, right? So I really love this, you know, gather here with grateful hearts. Of course, I'm all about being grateful all the time. We must remain humble on every occasion. And so I really love this tray. And here it is sitting down with nothing on it. And I really do. I think this is so simple, so cute, so easy to do. Now this fall, hello fall. This is gorgeous, guys. Like this is really beautiful. I think I captured that paper, or the picture on that paper, very well. I really do. I feel really good about this. Like I've walked past it a couple times and it just makes me smile. Like I feel like I captured the colors or the craft that I was going after, and that's such a good feeling. And here is our fall sign. Fall is in the air. Yes, it is. And what I decided to do off camera was to distress around the sign, and I think that just added even more flavor to this. And how cute are the pumpkins at the bottom pumpkins at the bottom, guys. Like this was so much fun. Each one of these crafts was such a joy to make. And if you guys are still here, thank you so much for writing this out with me. I appreciate you guys so very much. I appreciate the fact that you come back and you hang out with me and you watch my crafts. And I really hope you guys consider subscribing if you haven't already done so. If you're new here and you like the content, please consider subscribing as well. Also, hit the like button, that notification bell, just so you know every time I upload a video, and so we can spend some time together. You know, if there's some things you want to see or you're interested, or if you know, if you have some suggestions for me to change, let me know. I'm open to it all. This is a new experience for me, and I'm loving every single minute of it. So please remember, you know, you can always leave me a comment at any time. Just know that those comments are only desired, not required, and everything, like, subscribe, share, it's all free, guys. It's all free. So as I always like to say, fall in love every day. Every day that you wake up, lovies, is an opportunity to find something to fall in love with that day. So I won't hold you guys up. So until the next time, lovies, be safe, be kind, be so kind, and happy crafting your days away. Bye.